Hi, welcome to Sophie's Business Stories. I am Sophie. Ford and General Motors recently announced that starting early next year, all their current and future vehicles will get access to Tesla's 12,000 or so Supercharger stations in North America. They had also committed to switching to Tesla's North American charging standard, starting with new EVs produced in 2025. Not long after, Rivian, Volvo and Mercedes-Benz also jumped on board. In today's video, we will explore these intriguing questions. First, why are these rival carmakers joining forces with Tesla, a company long seen by investors as a threat to the established automakers? Second, what are some of the downsides of this deal for Tesla? And why is Tesla still doing it despite these risks? I will discuss 4 compelling reasons. Third, what are the implications for the electric vehicle industry? And lastly, who are the losers from this deal? First, to understand how this deal will benefit Tesla's competitors, we should know that there are 2 charging standards in North America's EV charger landscape. Tesla's Superchargers use a proprietary plug design known as the North American Charging Standard, or NACS. It doesn't work with non-Tesla EVs. Meanwhile, most other EVs and charging stations in the US use the Public Domain Combined Charging System, or CCS plug standard. Tesla's NACS charging connector is widely regarded as superior because it's twice as powerful but only half the size of the CCS connectors. The larger and heavier CCS connectors can be particularly cumbersome for older or disabled drivers to handle. What's more, Tesla's NACS chargers offer a much more reliable and seamless charging experience. J.D. Power ranked Tesla's charging network to be the most reliable and highest in consumer satisfaction. By contrast, in a study last year, researchers at the University of California, Berkeley checked 657 CCS fast chargers in the San Francisco Bay Area and found that almost a quarter of them weren't even functional. An August 2022 study by J.D. Power found similar failure rates for CCS chargers in other parts of the country. The failures stem from a range of problems, such as broken displays, software bugs, and severed power cords. To make matters worse, the nation's public fast chargers are made and operated by nearly a dozen different companies. Many of them have their own apps or payment methods. A Wall Street Journal reporter recently shared his unsettling charging experience in Montreal, where due to poor mobile signal, he struggled to download the charging company's app to prepay and almost couldn't get his Rivian charged. As you can see, as Tesla's competitors like Ford and GM try to ramp up sales of their own EVs, the spotty and less than reliable CCS network has been a major obstacle. Potential buyers may be attracted by the car's design and interior, and may even be thrilled by what they experience on the test drive, but concerns about the reliability of the charging networks can eventually drive these buyers away. Now, these companies' new agreements with Tesla will not only double access to chargers and alleviate range anxiety for their customers, but also ensure charger dependability. This will go a long way toward leveling the charging playing field. Moreover, by leveraging Tesla's supercharging stations, Tesla's rivals can save a substantial amount in investment capital that would otherwise be used in developing their own charging stations. For instance, General Motors CEO recently acknowledged that GM could save $400 million in such investment funds as a result. So here comes the question. Why then would Tesla voluntarily give up its competitive advantage in charging infrastructure, thereby helping its rivals to catch up? In addition, Tesla's decision to open its supercharging stations has caused concerns among Tesla owners. They're worried that an influx of non-Tesla EVs could lead to overcrowded supercharging stations and extended wait times. So why would Tesla risk potentially alienating its loyal customer base? First, let's hear what Tesla has to say. In a statement announcing the deal with GM, Tesla noted, "Our mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. Giving every EV owner access to ubiquitous and reliable charging is a cornerstone of that mission." Elon Musk himself also said that it is the morally right thing to do. This is certainly a noble and altruistic mission, and I do believe Tesla is sincere. Opening the supercharger stations aligns with its mission. But this is probably not the only reason. It is a business decision at the end of the day and should benefit the company in either the short term or the long term. One obvious benefit for Tesla is the additional revenue it will receive from those non-Tesla EV owners every time they charge at a Supercharger station. Tesla hasn't released any revenue estimates from this, but according to Piper Sandler, an investment bank, Tesla stands to bring in as much as $3 billion in charging revenue from non-Tesla cars alone by 2030, and $5.4 billion by 2032. Moreover, President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law provides $7.5 billion to build a national network of 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations across America. However, to be eligible for that funding, charging stations must be able to charge more than one brand of vehicle. So previously, Tesla was not eligible for these funds. But now, by opening up its network, Tesla qualifies for a share of the $7.5 billion federal dollars, which it can use to continue expanding its charging network. Finally, according to the U.S. Department of Energy, Tesla's superchargers currently make up about 60% of the total number of fast chargers in the United States. As more and more automakers commit to adopting Tesla's NACS charging standard, it bolsters the likelihood of Tesla's charging standard becoming the industry standard in the future, thereby further solidifying Tesla's dominant position in the industry. Now, let's talk about what impacts do such agreements between Tesla and its rivals have on the electric vehicle industry. First, it's important to understand the current state of the US EV industry. This graph shows the market share of electric vehicles in selected countries in 2022. Note that the definition of electric vehicles in this graph includes both all-electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid EVs. You see, the United States ranks second from the bottom, with electric vehicles accounting for only 8% of car sales last year, significantly lower than the global average of 13%. So why is the adoption of EVs in the United States progressing so slowly? The main reason is what we had discussed earlier, that the infrastructure of the charging networks is currently lacking in the US. Although the majority of EV charging happens at home, Americans love road trips. For long-distance driving, it is important to be able to reliably charge on the road and not to be stressed over it. According to a JD Power study released last month, nearly half of the car shoppers who won't consider an EV point to the lack of charging stations as the primary reason. Now, with an increasing number of automakers gaining access to Tesla's more reliable and better located charging network and adopting its charging standard, more independent charging networks will also start to build NACS connectors. And as a result of this expansion, EV owners and potential buyers will feel more confident about charging. This in turn will foster the growth of the electric vehicle industry. Now, let's circle back to the question posed earlier. Why isn't Tesla worried about giving up its edge in supercharging? The answer lies in the graph. You see, the current size of the US EV market pie is rather small, right? It has a lot of room to grow. From Elon Musk's perspective, he doesn't care so much about whether opening up his supercharger stations might allow rivals to sell a few more cars than Tesla does today. What he does care about is how to accelerate the development of the electric vehicle industry and make this whole pie bigger. So far, we have seen that Tesla opening its supercharger stations presents a triple win situation, benefiting not just Tesla itself, but also its competitors and the entire EV industry. But are there any losers from this? Yes, there are. The losers are the independent charging networks, such as ChargePoint, EVgo, and Electrify America. Up to this point, they've only been competing with each other. Now, all of a sudden, they're facing competition from Tesla. Car owners of Ford and GM, who previously had no option but to use these CCS public charging networks, can soon opt for the more stable and reliable Tesla supercharger stations. Unsurprisingly, the stock prices of these charging networks took a hit following the announcements of Tesla's collaborations. In response, most of these companies have announced that they will build NACS connectors within their charging networks. Alright, we're nearing the end of today's video. If you find this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. It will mean a lot to me. I'm also curious, do you plan to buy an electric vehicle? If you already own one, how has your charging experience been? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and we will continue to look beyond the surface in our next episode.